Hello YouTube. It has been rather a long time since I was last here. I've been re-inspired to come back onto YouTube because I kind of started my Booktube with Nightmareathon last year, and it's due again this year. So this is my TBR for Nightmareathon 2020, which is a readathon starting on the 25th of October, running until I think Halloween, I think 31st. Obviously it's a spooky themed Halloween thriller / horror movie readathon, and I thought today I would share with you my TBR. Obviously there are several prompts within Nightmareathon, and I'll tell you what is for what prompt, what book, sorry, is for what prompt. If this video isn't very good, I haven't filmed for a really long time, so I'm a bit out of practice, and please excuse the mess behind me. I'm not actually terribly well at the moment. I've been off work with mental health related problems. I'm having a better morning this morning, so I thought I'd film this whilst I'm feeling not too bad, but this is kind of my therapeutic mess, otherwise known as crochet and knitting and things that I can do quietly because noise and me don't get on right now. Anyway, enough of that. So what was I saying? Nightmareathon. That's what I was saying. So the first book is to, or the first prompt, sorry, is to read a thriller or horror novel written by a person of colour. So I've picked this book here. This is My Sister the Serial Killer. I'm not going to try and pronounce the author's name because I would probably say it completely wrong, and I don't want to completely ruin her name. So you can see the author. It's a very long name. I could do the surname, but I'm not sure how you pronounce her first name, and I don't want to say it wrong. So this book I have had sat on my shelf for ages. I bought it a while back. I don't know much about it other than obviously what the title suggests. It just sounded interesting. So it's been quite popular with booktubers. I know it was long listed for the Booker Prize. It's had quite a lot of positive write-ups, so I thought I'd give this one a go. So that's book one. There are quite a few books, and I'm not sure I'm going to get through them all, but we try. So the second prompt is to read a horror or thriller novel about something you are afraid of. My pick for this is Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane. I've seen the movie of this. I'm sure lots of people would have seen the Leonardo DiCaprio movie. I really enjoyed the movie. I'm actually quite, despite working in mental health, my fear is kind of being trapped on in an enclosed place with people who are mentally unwell, like severely unwell, and that you can't get away and you can't sort of escape from the fear that some of these people might be experiencing or the delusional content they might be experiencing. I find that quite sinister, quite scary to sort of be locked in with someone. So that's why I've chosen this. It's a bit of a unique fear. I'm not brave enough to read anything about clowns. I hate clowns. Do not do clowns. So yeah, this is my pick for something that scares me. Obviously we know it's set in a mental institution on an island. There's a hurricane involved, there's escaped prisoners involved. I can't remember the movie that well. I watched it a while back, so this should be interesting. Then we've got read a thriller or horror about a haunting. I have started this book before, but I didn't finish it. So I'm starting it again because it's by an author that I really like. This book is by Simone St. James. I've read my first one of her books for Nightmareathon last year. I read The Dead Girls last year. This year I'm reading The Haunting of Maddie Clare, obviously by Simone St. James. So this book, as I say, I have started it before. I was in the middle of reading about 4 different things and I just didn't finish it. I only read like not even the first 50 pages, I don't think. So this is about a young woman who takes a job as a ghost hunter. I think that's right. It's been a while since I looked at this. So yes, so this lady who teams up with a gentleman who is like a investigator of the paranormal. They go to this country house and they meet this lady called Maddie Clare who, no, sorry, said that wrong. So they go to this country house and they meet a ghost called Maddie Clare who haunts the barn on the property where she committed suicide. So yeah, I'm not too sure where this is going. It could be interesting. There are queries as to whether the haunting is a hoax or not. That should be interesting to see how that's represented in the book. Hopefully I can get this one done, although it's quite long. I've picked some quite big books for this. But my other two that I'm going to show you now are not as long. So these two I quite like. The prompts for a little bit different. So one of them is to read a short story collection that is horror or thriller based. Now, I'm not a big short story person. In fact, I can't remember the last time I read a collection of short stories, but I do have this one sitting around. This is by Ransom Riggs. This is Tales of the Peculiar. I am a massive fan of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children and the books that follow. So I've read the first three. So I've read Miss Peregrine's Home for Miss Peculiar Children, Hollow City, and oh, there's another one that I've read and I can't remember the name of it. They're up there. But Map of Days is the next one. But this is the sort of pre Home for Peculiar Children. So this is the tales of the children prior to them sort of being all together. So yeah, it's just a collection of different stories. It should be interesting. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. It's more kind of, I would say he's more of a horror writer than a thriller. Despite them being sort of aimed at young adults / children. I wouldn't recommend his books to children. They're too scary. Some of them are actually really frightening. They're very, very good. He's a good writer. He's very illustrative and descriptive of the different characters. He creates story really, really well. I love his character work, so I think I'll really enjoy this. And last but not least is to read a graphic novel that is thriller or horror based. What else could I possibly have read? This is Lock and Key by Joe Hill. This is volume 2. I've read volume 1. I absolutely love this comic. I have loved it for a long time. Lots of you may have seen the adaptation on YouTube, which is actually on Netflix, which is actually really, really good adaptation. I really enjoyed the Netflix series. Can't talk today. So this is book 2. I'm intrigued to see where the story goes. I love the concept of all the different keys that open different doors and that do different things. The artwork in this is also quite interesting. I'm just going to pick a random page, but I like the way they draw the sort of facial expressions of the different characters. Yeah, it should be a really good read, and hopefully that one I can get done quite quickly. So hopefully at least I will finish this and the Tales of the Peculiar. Those are probably going to be my first 2 that I read, because I think I can get them done within the time. The other 3, I'm not the fastest reader, guys. I haven't actually managed to complete an entire book this month yet due to mental health related rubbish. I find it difficult to concentrate when I'm not feeling particularly well. So we'll see how it goes, but I wanted to do Nightmareathon because obviously it is spooky season. Please excuse the lack of spooky decorations. I haven't decorated yet. Again, not been very well, and therefore not much decorating has been done, but I do have my little pumpkin here with me to wish you a happy spooky season. He's really cute because he lights up. Isn't he cute? I just love him. Also, whilst I'm here, there is a spooky season kind of movie event that runs alongside Nightmareathon with my book club that I'm a member of. I should have mentioned that. This is through Weeby Booking, which is Jacqueline Wheeler's book club. She's on YouTube under Weeby Booking if you want to look her up. I'm just going to turn my pumpkin off because he's distracting me. Put him down. But yeah, there's a whole load of movie recommendations as well, some of which I've seen already, some of which I'm going to try and have a look at. I've also got a whole list of spooky movies that I'm looking into this month. And maybe if you're interested, I can do a video on the films that I'll be watching in October. And also coming up, there will be a update on my crafting, so a new floss tube video to come. I hope you're all keeping well. Look after each other. I know these times at the moment are completely crazy, and you know, the pandemic and everything going on is completely bonkers. But I hope you're all doing okay. If you're here and you're watching this after such a long gap, thank you for still being here. I do appreciate it. I am hoping to be a little bit more present on YouTube, but every time I say that, I do one video and then I run away. So hopefully we can be consistent this time. And also a big shout out to my friend Jen from Cider House Crafts, because you're the person that actually inspired me to get back on YouTube and do some videos. So Jen, if you're watching, I appreciate the inspiration from your Halloween vlogmas, not vlogmas, vlogoween. Is it vlogoween? I think that's what it's called. But your series of videos have really been brilliant. I've loved them. And yeah, you kind of inspired me to get back on here, so thank you for that. And I will catch you in the next one. Be good to each other, stay safe, and stay spooky.